dat je luistert naar een nieuwe aflevering van Paul de Vries vanuit de podcaststudio in Ede met de missie de online automotive beter te maken. Dit doet Paul met de volgende partners met dezelfde missie: Marktplaats, Coldrip, CARMEN Automotive BDC, Vindio, Used Car Controller en tweedehands.be.
All right, how's that? Can you hear me? Awesome, fantastic. First and foremost, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here and address you today. The couple of hours that we spend together, I hope to be very informative to you. Your time is valuable. I have a small head, so this is going to fall off. I'll do my best with this. Let's just get started. How to win the future. I talk a lot and I work almost every single day in my company, and I'll get to who I am in just a second, but I spend almost every day in my company thinking about what's next. I sold my first car when I was 18 years old. That was almost 36 years ago, as I'm 54 now. A lot's changed, would you agree? And if anybody's been doing this more than 10 years, 15 years, a lot's changed. But quite frankly, I will tell you, since the first car I sold in June of 1987, nothing's changed in some ways. In some ways, absolutely nothing's changed. There's still a car, there's still a customer, there's still payment. So we're going to talk about the future and what I see in a couple of different ways. Let me just be blunt here and tell you that I would like to, let's see here, why is this not working now? It worked, I tested it, there we go. First, again, thank you to DCDW and Paul for having me. I genuinely appreciate it. This is not working. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to stand closer. All right, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I apologize for that rough start. As I told you, I sold my first car a long time ago. Today, I work with about 100 dealers in the United States, everywhere from independents to Bugatti. We have a very wide scope of agreement. We do everything from newspaper to TikTok. We have a staff of about 50 in total that we work with for that 100 dealerships. So everything, as you can imagine, is service-based orientated. I talk a lot about that. I wish the clicker was working better. We're going to skip that one. I'm going to go straight to what I want to talk about today. How many of you would agree that in today's world, this defines our world just a little bit? Yes or no? And I do ask for a little, I don't even have to ask. You guys are awesome. Audience participation is great. So when I ask if you get it, if you could, just raise your hand. That was awesome. So would you agree that this is a little bit how we run our lives today? Yes? Yes. Okay. In my office, when I run around and chat with our staff, I oftentimes say, could you please lift your head? Could we just get out of the computer for just a moment? Could we just get off the tablet for a moment? Could we stop texting for a moment? Could we just lift our heads and talk about the day? Could we be in the moment? Could we interact? Does that make sense to you guys? Because we're doing a lot of this, aren't we? This is my point. Today I'm going to invite you to think a little different for the 2 hours that we have to spend together. Again, my goal is for you to leave and say, I have some actionable items. A few things I can take back to my business today. Yes. Is it? You're going to change the battery? Okay. No worries. I can be manual as well. I want you to take some things back today. Would that be fair of me to ask of you to say, hey, pay attention. I want you involved with me for 2 hours. I flew almost 7 hours to be here. I have nothing to sell you. I'm only here to educate. It's got to be worth your time. I would like it to be worth my time, and I'd like Paul to be happy. So I ask you for the next 2 hours to look for little nuggets, things that you could take back to your business. A writer-downer, something that you could say, hey, I can't forget that. I've got to do that. Sometime in the next 2 hours, that's what I look for you to take back. That means it's worth my time and worth yours, okay? So these are the things that I think that we do this for. We bury our heads because we have reports that we got to give to someone, most of us, or you're in the room and you're the one who gets the reports. I say this to all my staff and all of our clients. There are no grays, no threes, and no babies in my life. It's a yes or no, it's black or white, it's one or two. Right here, I would say you're either the person who has to provide the report or the person getting the report. Would you agree with that? Thank you, sir. And those reports are KPIs, tracking, managing, strategies, automate. Is it more efficient? Is it faster? Is it cheaper? Yes? So, again, I invite you to think just a little bit different, and I'm going to ask you to think about this. I've taught this so many times now, it's like the back of my hand. The first conversion. How many times have you heard the word conversion today? A bunch? KPIs, conversions, CTAs, etc. It's my belief when I ask you to think just a little different. I ask you to consider the fact that maybe the first conversion's not on a website, it's not on an SRP, it's not on a VDP, it's not on the home page. I ask for you to consider this. Maybe the first conversion is the human mind. And what I want to share with you today and why I believe that is, if the customer doesn't like you, do you stand a chance? No matter how good your website's set up, no matter how good your business is set up, it doesn't matter. Raise a hand. Does it matter if they don't like you? So, are you relevant? Do they understand your brand? Are they inspired to do business with you? I ask of you to kind of deeply ingrain that as I go through the presentation today, because it's all going to go back. Most of what I talk about today is going to go back to this conversion, this first conversion of the human mind, which is, I like these guys. Maybe I'll do business with them. Do you think that the CTA button on your website gets clicked a little bit more often if the customer says, I like these guys? It's easy. It's easy to do business with them. Make sense? So I introduce you to what you've seen a little bit of today, but I go very deep down this rabbit hole. This, to me, is the greatest website in automotive at the moment. There is no better. And let me tell you why. Immediately, first and foremost, it's a car dealership. Do you see a car other than just a little tiny bit of piece of that car that she's waving her arm out of? No? It's implied they sell cars. There's really no reason to show a car. Because they're converting the human mind. They're getting somebody to go to this website and immediately think to themselves, it's a little different. I don't see a car. They're not shoving cars in my face. They're not shoving banners in my face that say payments and no down and this and all these kind of offers. Would you agree it's just a little different? So let me tell you why they're able to win this. And it's going to be a little bit of a common theme of other websites that I show you that do it well. How many websites do they have? One. Thank you. One. They have one website. Please raise your hand in here if you have one website. Keep going. How many people have a website for the car dealership? I would think more. So fair enough that just in this room there's probably 100 different websites for auto dealers. You have a website provider, which I'll go deep down that in a little bit. But the point is that they have one website with one team behind that website. Do you think that they track every picture, every CTA, every single thing in analytics behind that one website with a team of people that's as big as this room? Yes or no? So my point being there would be, they know that helps convert. This. I want you to remember the girl doing this, because that's what you see when you go to their one website. How do you think it makes you feel if you're a consumer and you've been to all sorts of other, and we'll go down this and show examples of normal automotive websites. But when you see introducing Love Your Car Guarantee, 24-hour test drive, 30-day returns, and boy, isn't it free, isn't it fun, isn't it easy? Look at that picture. How many words is a picture worth, guys? 1,000. What is that girl telling you about doing business with CarMax? Please get out of your normal everyday thoughts of running a car dealership and think like a disruptor for a moment and ask yourself, what do you think a normal consumer, John and Mary, sitting on their couch at night thinking about buying a car, get out their laptop, start start looking for a car. They go to a normal car dealer's website, and then she says, hey, maybe we should check out CarMax, hypothetically. And I know it may not be completely relevant to you here, but you will have a disruptor here that does something similar, I guarantee it. So what happens when they look at this and they go, wait a minute, introducing the Love Your Car guarantee. Honey, we can drive it for 24 hours and decide if we even want to buy it. There's not going to be any pressure. It's just going to be super simple, super easy. And you know what? If we buy it, they'll give us 30 days to decide if we like it enough to keep it. How's that make a normal consumer feel? Anybody? Audience participation? How's that make a normal consumer feel? The first thing they get told at a website, it's simple, it's easy, it's carefree. You're shaking your head up and down. And we can drive it for 24 hours. We can keep it for 30 days. What do you think? Should we keep shopping here? Yes or no? Okay, so let me take you through another example. I use this example all the time. It's kind of funny. I got a chuckle yesterday. Anybody ever been shopping with their significant other for jewelry? All right. I'm this guy. I get there and they start showing my wife things, and I go, I just want to walk over here. I don't even be around this conversation, because they're gonna hit me with the, isn't she worth it? Right? They're gonna hit me. They know human nature. Isn't she worth it? Yes, she's worth it, but I don't have enough money. So, and you worry. You say, I walked into this jewelry store and my budget was X. I won't even throw you a number, but how often is what you looked at and what she picked only X? Right? Almost never. Same is true with cars, is my point. My point is, to be fair, is that in human nature, I give you that example to take you out of the car business for a moment, to tell you that the second thing they do is attack your sense of, can I afford it? Because we're all worried. I'm on the couch with my wife, I'm shopping for a car. She starts to pick out cars and I go, oh my goodness, that payment's going to be $400 more than I want to pay. Anybody think average consumers worry about that with their budgets, with their jobs, with their families, and what they're buying? Yes or no? Yes. Average consumers. So here I get to pick, if you can see, in a $300 down payment with a $2,000 down payment, and a $300 payment is what I'm telling this website on the home page, first and foremost, before I even get started, is what I can afford. How does that make a consumer feel before they've even left the home page when they go, I can drive it for 24 hours, it's a 30-day return policy, and they're only going to show me cars I can afford? When I click that button, the only cars they display in the SRP, the search results page, are cars in that price range. How does it make the average consumer feel? Trusted. Anybody disagree that this is so far a pretty good process? Because if I'm an average consumer and I feel good about it, this is where I like to go here. The way it should be is their slogan. It's CarMax, the way it should be. I see you nodding up and down, right? What do you see it at the top? Do you open up the home page and it screams CarMax, the way it should be? Let me tell you the beautiful part about why I think this is the best website in automotive right now. It's non-egocentric. They don't have their names screaming. They don't have their big logos screaming. They're not telling you how great they are. They're not even giving you their slogan right below their name. Look how small their logo is. Does that send a message psychologically? I know I'm going very deep here, guys. But that sends a message to the consumer psychologically that their brand and their name and their ego is not huge. It does. Because we get to some of our websites and it's just all over the place. We're so proud of ourselves. It's right? We're very proud. So now what they do is they go, introducing your Love Your Car guarantee, $17,000 is all I can afford. And by the time you get there, you've started a conversation with the consumer. A conversation without even saying a word. Their website started the conversation. They go, isn't that the way it should be? That's why the slogan is down here and not up there. Magic words. They earned the right to deliver their slogan. That's how they designed that website. By the time we get to this slogan, CarMax the way it should be, they've earned the right. Is everybody picking up what I'm throwing down? Little raise of hands here. Does it make sense? Consumer, how does it make them feel? We're going to start flying through some of this stuff now. I wanted to spend a lot of time on that page because the homepage of how they do it, and I wanted you to get ingrained in that and to understand it and see every little thing they do, from the picture to the slogan being lower to giving you a car you can afford and making you feel comfortable. It's not the experience that we typically give our clients at any one of our dealerships on any one of our websites. But we have to assume someone is, and we're competing against them. Is that fair to assume? And if we're competing against them, we will lose.
Steeds meer collega's gebruiken Used Car Controller. Taxeren, calculeren, publiceren of auto's verhandelen met je persoonlijke handelsplatform? Met 1 abonnement geeft Used Car Controller je controle over alle kritische gebruikte autoprocessen. Zo maakt Used Car Controller je tot sterkste in je vak. Vindio is de merkonafhankelijke automotive partner. Vindio is er voor uw klanten en u. Zo kunt u zorgeloos ondernemen en uw rendement verbeteren. Uw online leads opvolgen binnen 30 seconden? Dat kan met CallDrip. Vraag direct een demo aan.
So if you scroll down, what do you see? See a car yet? See more happy humans, yes or no? What are we really selling? Happy humans. We're nice people. We make people happy. And oh, by the way, we just happen to sell cars. Is anybody familiar with Simon Sinek here? Is anybody familiar with Start With Why? Did they not start with why? And oh, by the way, if you've ever seen it, I thought it might be relevant to many of you, which I saw a lot of heads nodding up and down. Simon Sinek says that Apple goes through this whole thing, and oh, by the way, we just happen to sell computers. Where everybody else selling a computer is, we're selling a computer, it's this much money, it has this much processing, it has this much, they're throwing value at you, value at you, value at you. And Apple's just, I'll get to the Apple example in a minute. Oh, and oh, by the way, we just happen to sell computers. Oh, by the way, you're going to be super happy, you're going to have your dog, right? You're going to be driving down the road, also free. Isn't that the way it should be? You could do it more of it from home, not all of it. Another reason I think that this is a really good example is because in the United States they have brick and mortar stores. They're not really an online retailer. They're very, very similar to the average dealership with brick and mortar. Scroll more. Do you see a car yet? What do you see? Tell me again. More happy humans. What's this tell you about getting a trade-in value? How many different directions do we all say we get pulled in every day? Would you agree? That's a thing that we say. I get pulled in a lot of directions, man. I'm so busy. That guy's literally, figuratively, getting pulled in different directions. You can call me crazy. I'm okay with that. I know it psychologically. You can get a trade appraisal on your car while your kid sits on your head, your daughter pulls on you. It's super easy. Does that picture not tell you just exactly how easy it is to get a trade appraisal from CarMax? And how does that make you feel as a consumer? So once I decide that I'll start shopping at CarMax, this is where I land on the SRP. I know you all know what SRPs are, right? We're not in 101 here. How many cars do you see on that page? 8, roughly, right? I mean, I know they have you could show 8. I'm going to fly through this to tell you, if you're going to take a writer downer right now, all your SRP needs. And you guys actually do it pretty well here, so I'll fly over this quickly. In the United States, quite frankly, one thing we do way worse than you guys do here, We have like 94 buttons on the SRP. It's horrible. All you need is year, make, model, price, mileage, and color. That's it. And show as many. Your website platform that you're on, if it's still for any reason horizontal, so you have one car here, scroll another car, get rid of that website provider. No offense. You know why? Because you need to show more cars. At this point, it's the search results page. Show me options, year, make, model, price, mileage, color. Let me pick one I like. Again, I try to look at this stuff as I train my staff and my clients. I look at that and go, what else do I need to know before I say to my wife, I kind of like this one? Year, make, model, price, mileage, color. Nothing else. So I click it. Once I click it, I come to this. You've heard this before, the car is the star. Many website providers have these really tiny pictures on the VDP page. I mean, I'm talking tiny. Push them. Ask them if they have another template, if they have another platform, if they have another way to expand the size of those pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. If I'm shopping for a car, we all know that if there's no pictures of the cars, they'll skip it. Yes? Well, if the pictures are bad and small, they'll go to another website where they can get a better shopping experience. Yes or no? Make the pictures as large as you can, and that's when you start to have your conversion points. Let me slow down just a little bit because I went through that fast. What's the first conversion, everybody? The human mind. I hope that you all agree with that because as I go backwards, I'll share with you. I've hit CTA buttons. Every single page that I showed you, from the home page to the second, to scrolling down to the trade page, every page had a CTA button. Very kind of there, but not in your face. Every single point, if you had decided I'm ready to convert, you could. But by the time you make it here, you could see this even? Chat. You would say, no, there's no CTAs there. There's chat. Here's where you start. By the time you get to the VDP, that's where everything is. Don't load people up with a whole bunch of please buy, here's another offer, here's another, until they get to the VDP. Let them shop their way. Convert that human mind. I like these guys. I like this site. It's easy to navigate. It has all the information that I want. They look like good people, like happy humans. It looks like if I bought a car here, I'd be happy. Here's another one just for fun. I'm not going to spend much time on this. And if anybody follows the stock, one of the reasons I'm not going to spend a lot of time on is you could fight me and say they're falling apart. I'd agree. I'd also say that for us in the US, as an example, Carvana disrupted the market no matter what happens to them. They changed our lives forever with what they did. They were really the first ones to say, well, put it on a flatbed, we'll bring it to your house. They changed our lives forever. Their website, again, you do see a car. They didn't go down the humanistic lane. But what you do see here, and I'll show you on another example, is 2 CTAs. You guys are familiar with a little brand called Tesla? Let me share with you the website that I think is second best in our industry. It may be a tie for first. It's so radically different. Models are different. One is a brick and mortar store to buy used cars, and one is a tech company selling cars with online purchasing. Very radically different. Do any of you have a website that when a customer pulls up your homepage looks like this? Raise of hands, your website looks like this. None. 0. First time. Audience participation has been very good, and just now, 0 hands went up. Note for those in the front, you couldn't see. There's 2 CTA buttons here. If you heard me speak yesterday, please don't answer. But what's that called? Does anybody know what it's called when I give you 2 choices? Would you like the clicker or my wallet? Which one would you like, sir? Pick one.
Clicker.
He clicked. Well, go ahead.
Options choice?
Very good. Yeah, options choice, alternative choice, close, perfect. So I'm giving an option. I'm giving an alternative choice. How many of us have trained? Don't ask them if they want to come in Monday. Ask them if Monday or Tuesday is better. Then when they say Tuesday, ask them if morning and afternoon's better. Yes? Have we all trained that way? That's option closing. That's alternative choice closing. And for some reason, we all kind of forget that that's how consumers in our mind works, and we put all these buttons all over the place, and that causes confusion. I don't know where to click. I don't know where to look. I give you two simple options, and yes, you're going to call me out for 4 later, but I'll show you examples where 4 works. But Tesla said, hey, we sell online. We do have some inventory. I'm going to just put the car the star almost like the VDP immediately, because we always say the car's the star. This is their home page. I don't want a Model S. I can simply go up there and click. It's just going to change the car basically. And then I have a choice. Would I like to custom order one, or would I like to pick from existing inventory? What do you think the chances are somebody clicks one of those buttons once they're on this homepage? Those are baby steps down a conversion path. As soon as they click one, it's a baby step down a conversion path. I show you this. I know you just saw the Apple Store in Amsterdam. I thought that was pretty cool. I'd like to go see that place. Anyone raise their hands? Who would like to go see that? If you've been, great. I have not. I'd like to go see that place. How many of you have a website that looks like this when you load up your homepage? Notice a similarity in a way? Clicker. There we go. We're good. I'll get it. So let me take you through this from the human mind's perspective. Yesterday I said it, I'll say it again today. I have no prizes, I have nothing to give, but you can win. What is all that space called around the picture? What is it?
White space.
Negative white space. Yeah, white space. Negative white space. How clean does that look? It's Apple. Think they put some thought into it? Company with the most cash on the planet? Think they put some thought into their website? Anybody in this room think maybe we could learn something from Tesla? From Apple? Could we learn something from any of these guys? I don't even profess to be ridiculously smart. I profess to say I'm smart enough to go look at some of the best companies in the world to learn how maybe we can communicate to our consumers. If I own a car dealership, run a car dealership, marketing manager, I'm going to go to bat for and fight for my brand, my company, where I go to work every day, to have a look and a feel more like what the best brands in the world are delivering. Not because I just want to copy them, but what's the real reason, guys? Go ahead. Personality? Yeah. Functionality and personality. I would go to both. I'd say it's got to be beautiful. This is what I teach my team. It's got to be beautiful and it's got to work. It's got to be beautiful and it's got to convert. If it's both, you got something. If I'm looking at this, I say to myself, I want to learn more. I want to buy one. I scroll down the page. Look at where it goes on the second page. Notice about the negative white space again, how clean it is. That's why we all want one. That's the reason we all stand in line to buy the 14 that does 0.1% something different than the 13. That's why we all stand in line for one that's green, that does nothing different than the one that we currently own, but they just came out with the green one. And we stand in line and wait outside in the cold to buy them. Because of how it, everybody please say it once, how it makes us feel. Give wow. I'm just going to skip that one, but isn't that kind of cool? I got a Christmas present? Hey, I got to buy something for my wife this year. Maybe I'll give her wow. Paul asked me yesterday, what's up with this Progressive insurance company? I thought I didn't introduce you to Progressive because I do follow them. I have mimicked them. As a matter of fact, if you were to go to my website right now, mydealerworld.com, As an example, I'm not asking you to, not here to sell you anything, but you would see I mimicked this website. And why? Because if you go to my website, I need to know what you're interested in. Are you interested in SEO, paid search, this, that, website optimization, consulting, text messaging? I need to know what you're interested in. So I give you a choice to click, 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 and get a quote. Just like the insurance companies do, because I'm a services company. I provide a service, they provide a product, but they provide multiple products. Does that make sense? If I go to this website and I want to buy insurance, I just pick what I want and go. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what's the one thing you notice between the Apple, and even though Tesla had red or black behind that, that's negative space. Lots of negative space around that car. I just gave you the answer. What do you notice on the Progressive site? They spend almost $1 billion a year on advertising. That's a billion with a B on advertising to push people to this website. Is it clean? Is it easy to navigate? Was Apple clean and easy to navigate? Was Tesla easy to navigate? Was CarMax easy to navigate? For fun, I introduced to you Pedal. Anybody know what Pedal is? Probably not. It's from the States, I believe. I think they might have different arms of it in different countries. These guys don't even sell cars. So why am I showing you this one? It's been a really big push over the last couple of years, and I think it has been here, maybe not to the level that it has been in the States. But in the States, we had to buy cars, a lot of them. We had to go get cars, right? Used cars because we didn't have any new. Microchips are a problem, didn't have new. Had to go get them. Dealers would put on their website, "We buy cars." Does that inspire a customer? We buy cars. Does that? No kidding. I'm sure that you do, right? It's just not inspired. They put no effort into it is my point. They just said they did it. Egocentric again. We buy cars, you should sell it to us. These guys are kind of crushing it. Look at the negative yellow space. And let me ask you a question. If I'm in the market to sell my car, which, by the way, in our market, I've had dealers buying over 100, sometimes close to 150 cars a month from consumers, what we call off the street. Not from the auctions, not from simply a customer converting by saying, because we put a lot of effort into this, especially once I found Pedal, and I found how CarMax was doing it, and we started to put that on websites to convert people because we needed to buy cars. Because why? If we didn't have any cars on the lot, we couldn't do what? We couldn't sell any. So I had to get really, really good at buying them too. I'd like to just submit to you this example to tell you when I'm talking about how does it make you feel. If you wanted to sell your car, get a free, no pressure, think about it offer today. How's that make you feel? Free, no pressure, go ahead and think about it offer today. Are they having a little fun with you with the copy? Not we buy cars. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. We can laugh, right? And I think it's fun to laugh at this. But the first time I saw it, I kind of laughed. I went, it's kind of funny, kind of cute, you know? The people that we're trying to do business with want to laugh. They want to have a little fun. They want to think that you're serious, but not so serious that you can't laugh at yourself just a tiny bit. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy to sell us your car. It's 1, 2, 3. Do you see 1, 2, 3 even though it doesn't say 1, 2, 3? It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Tell us about your car, get an instant offer, just relax, man. Just kick your feet up and get paid. How does that make you feel as a consumer if you're thinking about buying a car? Would you maybe give them a chance to give you an offer on what your car's worth? Yes? And if not, they joke. We have 50 states in the United States. That's how many states we're in. Yep, all of them. Got a question if we'll buy you a car? Doesn't matter where you live, we'll buy you a car. This is what it looks like. We'll love to buy your 2010 Honda Civic for this much month, whatever the number is. There are 12 pickup times available this week. Yes, I own it. I'm still making payments. They're asking a question. We ask, how much do you owe? Pedal says, Yes, I own it, or I'm still making payments. Good time for me to pause since it says stop. Is it relating to you, what I'm saying, about the fact that we have, I say this in the States, there's 17,000 new car dealers. There's more used car dealers than new cars. There's about 30-some thousand used car dealers, pre-owned. There's 47,000 dealers in the United States. Every single one of them, for the most part, has their own website. That's 47,000 different websites. It really didn't take a lot for some of these people to think it won't be hard to compete with them because their websites are fragmented. They're different. They're all different. There's no consistency. They're ugly. They don't convert. They didn't think it out. Fair? So I want to talk to you about why a little further. I'm going to go a little further now that you got the general concept and idea of what I'm talking about. I like to talk about assets. A web visit. Fly through this for fun with you. Just ready? Here we go. 8,967 is just a placeholder. It represents however many web hits that you get on your website in any given month. Fair enough? Whatever that number is, you get 30,000, you get 3,000, doesn't matter to me. This number for this presentation represents how many web visits you get to your site. How many of you know exactly what that asset brings you back?
Dank u wel voor het luisteren naar de Deze Podcast van Paul de Vries met de missie om de online automotive beter te maken. Vond u deze podcast interessant? Abonneer dan meteen via Spotify, Soundcloud of iTunes en deel deze podcast via LinkedIn met uw netwerk. De Deze Podcast van Paul de Vries wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door de volgende partners: Marktplaats, Coldrip, CARMEN BDC, Vindio, Used Car Controller en tweedehands.be.